G'day everyone, it's Shadow here from server 83. Just doing a couple of tutorials at the request of my Alliance members. So just to get everyone used to the games, I know there's a few people who are struggling to understand the concepts and it's a bit overwhelming at the start, but once you get used to it, it's pretty basic. So when you first start the game, you can get to select the culture. There are a few different cultures. Start with Europe. That gives you these attributes at the very start of the game. You're looking for ones that will benefit your play style. There's not really anything more productive than the rest, but you want something that will suit your play style. So Europe from the start gives you a nice march speed increase to monsters. A bit of magic attack, again, will help you out in killing monsters, and a bit of stone production. Go across to China. China gives you a bit of research speed. I like that at the start because it helps you get a few of the basic researches out the way pretty quickly. Ground troop attack isn't too important, and troop load, that just gives you a bit of extra gathering, which does help at the start as well. Japan, food production, not great at the start. You don't really need that. Ground troop defense, again, you're not going to be producing much ground troops, so you don't really need that at the start. And crafting speed, that's more for crafting gear at higher levels for your generals, so not the greatest at the very start. Korea, lumber production, wood's always handy. Healing speed you don't really need until you're out there attacking, and range troop attack again don't really need until you're out there attacking. So lumber production is not bad there. America, gold levy, that's a good one. Gold's quite important in this game, so having a little bit extra is always good. Siege machine attack, good in defense, and training speed helps you get troops out faster, so that's not a bad one either for the start. Russia, all production, you don't use that till you're level 16, so that doesn't matter that much. Mounted troop defense, again, not that great at the start, you don't really need it, and traps you don't really need at the start either. Then we got Arabia. Gems, if you're a free player, that's a great bonus there, helps you get a few extra gems together. Mounted troop HP keeps your cav alive while you're attacking monsters, and bonus from offering. That just gives you extra prestige and XP, which we'll go into later. So the choices that I would choose from would be either Arabia or China. My preference at the start is probably China. So we'll go into that one and have a look at the game. So every time you change cultures, you can change cultures during the game as well. So what you start with, you don't have to keep. There are items that let you change culture, and when you change, you get to keep all your building levels. Nothing resets. So everything is the same as when you left it. It just changes a little bit and changes some attributes. Little update info. So you always get these purchase screens at the start when you log in. It's just offering you different deals and stuff like that. Some of them are good value, some of them aren't. We'll go into those a bit later. Update screen, so whenever the game updates, just gives you a little idea of what's changed in the game. So this is obviously 2.2, which is the latest version, as of the 25th of January. So when you open the game, it goes through a little tutorial with you. You can either choose to do that, or you can choose to ignore it. Most people follow along with it just at the start, but you can choose to ignore it if you want to. The way you ignore it is you just hit next, and it takes you a little screen. Whenever you see there's this little sword with a highlight, all you do is you click 10 times outside of that, so you don't actually have to follow it. And then once that's gone, you can do your own thing. So you can look around and you can explore the map a little bit. So this is your in-city view. Up here you've got your keep, which is your main castle. So that determines your level of what you can build up to, and it's also the most powerful building you own. Locked down here we've got your tavern, that unlocks at level 3, and that gives you a few bonus features which when it's unlocked we'll have a look at, see what's in there. Here you have your shrine, which is where you do your offering, and daily rewards. Sorry about that. Up here you've got your warehouse, this is where you store all your resources. Sorry that again. What else we got? Screen. Up here we've got a locked feature, which is not implemented yet, so that's coming soon. no one's actually sure what that is. I'm not sure yet. So once that gets released, we'll get a bit more info on that one. Down here we've got a watchtower. Just basic watchtower at the moment, level 1. Can't really do much with it. Again, we got another locked feature at the front here, which isn't available yet. But again, once that gets released, we'll try and do a bit of feature on that and see what it does. And I think that's it for established buildings. Oh, and rally point. So rally point lets you increase march size, tells you how many troops you can march. And yeah, we'll have a look at that a bit later as well. If we go up to the top here, you've got a subordinate city, which unlocks at keep level 11. So from keep level 11, you can start collecting subordinate cities. At the moment, that sits there and does nothing. Sure, yeah, it's not even listed in your settings there. So the screen itself can be a bit overwhelming, especially on a small device at the start. Up the top here, you've got your resources. So at the moment, we've only got food and wood available. As you level up, you'll get stone and then ore, and then your gold will be down the end. So your beginning level buildings only use food and wood. This area here is your power. So this tells you how powerful you are. We have a look in rankings. I'm sorry, I'm jumping back and forth, but we can make sense of it. So if you have a look at my power rankings, you can sort of get an idea of what size people are. So you can see biggest players 6.2 mil, and if we go back, we're only 9k, so we're quite small compared to the larger guys. Down here we've got our VIP. At the moment, it's not activated. If we have a look at that, VIP is basically you get points from logging in daily, doing certain rewards. You can get items that give you VIP points, and you can also purchase packs, which give you VIP points. As you unlock a VIP, so if I were to get 300 VIP points, I would unlock these features. So I'll get an extra minute free construction, and I'll get an extra 5 gold levy times capacity. Up here you got a timer. When that timer runs out, your VIP stops. And you can also get items to increase that, or you can just keep adding up. As once you level up a VIP, you get some more time to that as well. And down the bottom here you got a series of dots. They're just your levels. So if we scroll across, so this is VIP 2, VIP 3, VIP 4, and then it keeps going up all the way to the end. And as you can see, as you go up, you get extra bonuses and buffs to your city. The most important one that you're looking for at the start is VIP 5, which is quite easy to reach just by doing your logins. So if you log in each data, you'll reach VIP 5 quite quickly, and that gives you an extra march slot. You can only have up to 5 marches on this game, and that's including the one on the VIP. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you can start doing multiple marches to boss rallies and resource collection, stuff like that. So trying to get VIP 5 as soon as possible is quite easy, and really does help. So VIP points, so you can purchase packages, or you can use items that you can find from monsters and stuff like that. And same as VIP time, you can receive them from quest events, purchasing items. Up here in the corner, you've got your Monarch. So this is basically you in the world. The most important thing you need to know is how to change your name. So just by clicking this, you can change your name. So once you change your name goes up there. Down here you've got your Monarch gear. So you've got different items which do different things. So your staff does attack. So you've got ground troop attack on mountain staff, cavalry attack or mountain troop attack on your thunder staff. Wind staff is range troop, that gives you range troop attack. Fire staff is siege, and you got an area staff which does all troop types. Just by looking at that, you go, oh, I'll go area straight away because it gives all troop type. But if you look at the values, so a level 1 area staff does 3% attack increase. But if you're looking at the individual ones, they do a 5 plus 10. So 5% plus a 10 base stat attack increase. So the single ones give you a better increase for that troop type, whereas the area staff is more overall. When you're marching, you'd want a single troop type to increase the ones that you're focusing, but when you're defending, you probably want areas. And as you level up, so let's say we have a look at level 10, 71% increase and 100 base stat compared to a 42% increase. So you're missing out on about 29% there by using areas. But when you work it out across 4 troop types compared to 1 troop type, in defense the areas is a better item than the single troop. You got the same on the Grail, so again, Mountain, Thunder, Wind, Fire, areas. Grail does HP. And then you got Decoration, which does defense. So again, Mountain, Thunder, Wind, Fire, areas. Then we've got our crowns. So our crowns is what we use for construction, for improving the city. So you got Intellect, which does research speed increase. Strength crown does construction speed. Agile crown does crafting for gear. Martial crown does troop training. Medicine crown does healing. Durable crown does traps. So as you're going through doing the items, you change your crowns around to give you a bonus. It does help quite a lot. For example, a level 6 crown, which is quite easy to get at the start, gives you a 33% increase in construction speed, which is quite a big amount to get at the start. Saves you a lot of time. In our horns, we have march increases. So our war horn increases march size capacity. Courage horn increases march speed. Loyalty horn increases troop load. And Justice horn increases march speed to monsters. This one here levels up a lot quicker than your march speed. So if we have a look at a level 10 Justice horn, 142% increase. Level 10 Courage horn only does 71% increase. So you'd use a Courage horn when you're marching on players for doing PvP, and you use a Justice horn for when you're doing monsters. And then you got crystals, which is resource. So the first 4, earth, water, wind, and fire, they are production crystals, so they're the ones that you produce on your resource fields. Lumber production, food production, stone production, and ore production. And then we have another 4, light, wood, thunder, and golden. So these ones here are your gathering crystals. So production ones are the ones that you produce on your resource field. Gathering ones are the ones that you use when you're out on the map gathering. And again, you've got your food gathering, wood gathering, stone gathering, and ore gathering. So that's your Monarch gear there. Down here you got stamina, which lets you attack monsters. So basic monsters are 6 stamina per attack, and boss monsters are 15 for lower ones, 20 for the medium ones, and 30 for the higher ones. And then over this side you've got your EXP, so that builds up, and that's what gives you your Monarch experience. So if you click on that, it tells me I need another 999 experience to upgrade the next level, and you can check that throughout your levels as you go. This little icon up here, you can add Monarch gear combinations. So you can have a defense gear set, you can have a range gear set, you can have a cavalry gear set. So rather than going through and individually changing each item, all you do is click that, add a new combination, and then you quickly change between gear sets. So if you're doing defense, attack, PvP, or monsters. So over this side we've got our builders. You can have up to 2 builders. At the moment I've only got 1, so I haven't done the research to unlock the next one. And that tells you what you're building. So for example, if I were to go and build a farm, so there's my farm down the bottom there. If I hit build, you can see it appears at the top there. Because it's such a small build, it does it quickly, and you can also free build. Down the bottom here we've got a gift, so you have server gifts, which every now and then appear. So these are just free items that appear on the map every now and then. They just pop up, so you can collect them. Doesn't cost you anything, and you just get a free item. They're not that great when you level up, but at the start they do come in a little bit handy. This little free gems icon down here goes away after a little while. Basically, it just tells you that you received 103 free gems the first time you join Alliance. So that's a little bonus gem at the start down there. At the top here we've got our gems. So this is telling me you've got 300 gems which you get at the start. And if you click on that, it actually takes you into your store, where you can buy membership cards, which I wouldn't recommend getting. They're not very good value. And also, once you get them, you tend to forget about them because they're hidden away, so you don't collect your gems. regularly. Then we've got gem packs, which we'll go into more later, and then you've also got items, which is where you can buy resource boxes, you can buy war items, you can buy speed ups, and you can also buy special items. I'd never recommend buying resources from here. You can get them cheaper in another spot, which we'll look into later. I also wouldn't recommend buying speed ups, as it's cheaper to use gems to speed up than what it is to purchase speed ups and then use them. So the main things you'll purchase in here are under war, which would be your truce agreements, some stamina, teleporters, stuff like that. Special items, so this is where you get your VIP days from. You can get material chests. Again, all these items you can get in packs where you can find on the map. You don't have to buy them. And then you've also got all your crowns and stuff down here, which we'll go into later. We've got some special events here. So at the moment there's an event running for a New Year event. So if you click on that, it basically tells you that these are special events that are running. So we've got a gathering event, which just gives you a description there, tells you that you can get more gathering speed, and also resource amounts are increased. Over here we've got special packs, so we won't talk about them yet, we'll talk about them later. Then you've got another special pack down here, which is just a one-time offer for when you log on. So for the first couple of days that you have your account, you can buy cheap packs, which gives you these items. They do give you a good little boost, but by no means do you have to pay this game. You can play for free quite successfully. Again, first purchase, so you get items for doing some purchases. And then you got Event Center. The Event Center is the most important one. This is always there. This is your standard day after day event, which the game goes by. So this is a new server, so we've got the first week package, which again is another thing you can buy. This game does like to get you to buy things. It's always put in your face, but you don't have to. Login rewards. So as a new player on a new server, you can claim login rewards. So all you do is hit the button and you can claim them. And they refresh each day. So every day it's server reset. So this will count down for 25 days. So I can come in every day and I can claim all 7 rewards. And in the last reward, I actually get a general. I think it's a tiller. Yeah, so you get a tiller, which is a purple general, which we'll look at generals later. But if you do login rewards, you get him, and that's quite good. Upgrading rewards. So again, this is just a new one. So when you're a new player, you get rewards for upgrading to level 7, level 11, level 15, and so on. So again, those give you bonus items to help. It's just a motivation to get your upgrade. So if you upgrade to level 20 within 2 days, you get all those items. If you don't, you miss out. But again, it's not imperative that you do that. The only way you do that is by spending. But you don't have to spend. You can grow slowly. And yes, you will miss out on some of these items, but honestly, they're not that great anyway. Probably the best one is the Epic General, but you can get them later on. Monarch competition. So you need to pay attention to this event here. This is the main event that goes on. So there's 5 stages of a Monarch competition. Each stage you got 3 reward levels, and then you got the points value. So you need to gain points in the event, and that gives you the rewards over this side. The majority of them are quite easy to get. All three reward tiers. You may not place highly in the stages, but as long as you get all the rewards, then that's a great start. Especially if you're a free player, the 600 gems every day, it really helps. Each event has a little package at the top if you're interested in buying them. They're always a cheap package, and each event has its own package. So monsters will have a package with high stamina. The kill event will have one with war items. A city development event will have speed ups and resources. So they're always paid to keep an eye on them. And then each stage tells you how you can score points. So this is a troop training event. So for training troops, it tells you how many points you get for different troops. Ranking rewards. So stage ranking is your position in the stage. So you got stage and total, and you got 5 events. Each stage is daily, except for the third one, which is 3 days. So it's a 7-day rotation. The first 4 are single days, and the 5th one's a 3-day. At the completion of each stage, there's awarded a champion of the stage, and then at the end of all 5 events, you get an Almighty Monarch. You can see the rewards for the Almighty Monarch are a lot higher than the rewards for the daily stage events. So ideally, you want to try and get those. At the start, as a free player, it's quite difficult because you've got a lot of coiners that will purchase their way through events, but it is possible to win some, like monster kill, resource gathering, stuff like that, which the coiners don't really take part in. So you can win those. Down the bottom, you've got stages ranking. So if we have a quick look, we can see, go down the bottom to the first stage. So these are the people that placed in the first stage from 1st to 10th. This is stage 2, so you can see they're slightly different. There's a couple of guys there that have placed in both. Again, stage 3, so you can see who's placed there, and then stage 4. And if you go to previous online ones, I'm not sure if the server's been open long enough. It hasn't. So, but if it was open long enough, each week the winner of the Almighty Monarch would be listed in here, so you can sort of see who's the good players in the server, or who's been coining the most and finding their way up. And that is pretty much it for the screen. So yeah, so keep an eye on your Monarch competition. It goes through every week. By about the 3rd week, the 5th event's always a kill event, and it goes for 3 days. So that's when you basically get points to kill players. So that's when a lot of people are at war. City of Throne. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. But that's another event that happens weekly. Greedy Goblin. This always stays around. So on the map, there's goblins, and you kill them, and you can get gold. That's good. Goblins World Boss. So World Boss is an event that appears weekly again. So there's 4 World Bosses, and each one has a different weakness to troop type. And basically, you hit them and you get scores. So it probably hasn't been done yet. No, so it has been done once. So you can see where people are placed with their damage value on the World Boss. This gives you an indication of who you want to avoid hitting you, or who you want to avoid hitting. So once you hit them, you can get your attack power, and that gives you an idea of where you are in the server. And again, it tells you the rewards. You can do your history, and also you can do all the rewards. And then Undead Evasion. Undead, again, another weekly event where a series of 20 marches will march on your city, or on your alliance, and you need to defeat the armies. The more troops you defeat, the higher scores you get, and the better you place. And then you get the rewards. So you got alliance scores ranking, and then you got Monarch scores ranking as well. So as long as you complete these criteria, you get these items, and it adds up. So if you complete these requirements as an alliance, you get these rewards, plus these rewards, plus these rewards, plus these rewards, and so on. So obviously the higher you score, the better. Alliance scores, so the first place alliance gets these items, and again it goes down in ranking. So if your rewards, you can see 2nd place, 3rd place. So obviously the higher ranked you are, the more rewards you're going to get. And then Monarch scores. So as an individual placing, so this is your alliance score, this is your personal score. So for your personal score, you also get rewards. So you actually get 3 lots of rewards from the Undead event, which makes it quite resourceful at the beginning, especially when you're small and you can do with all the destruction speed up and everything. So that's the event center. Down here you've got your settings, which is the 3 buttons, so that's where your main information screens are. So as a new player, some are missing, but they will unlock as you go. So first thing we've got are our items, which is just any items you gain will appear in here. So these are your common items. Speed ups appear under here. Equipment is materials for crafting and also gear. Special items is anything out of the ordinary, like shields, teleporters, and all is just all your items listed. So you can divide them up, or you can just go all to have them all. Next we've got generals. So I won't go into these much yet, but that's where your generals are listed. Relic, so we'll go into them later, but this is where your relics are listed. My relics are the relics you open, and allies' relics are the relics that your alliances are occupying, not necessarily if they've opened them or not. Alliance, this is where you have your alliance info. Obviously I'm not in alliance yet, so there's not much in there. Mail, so this is where all your mails are. There's a little mail there for me, and then you've also got all these ones on the side here. So you've got your inbox, which is mails from players, announcements, which is mails from the server, reports, which is boss, monsters, and gathering reports. PvP reports are player reports, so scouting, attacking cities and stuff like that. System are just system notifications. Events are things like undead and your mark events. Save mails is any mails that you highlight. Unread, new mails, and read everything else. This button down here allows you to move in and out of your city. So this is your city view, and that's your map view. So you can just change things using that button. Down here you got a little goal item, which basically gives you an indication of what to build when. So I just built my farm down there before, so now I just collect that farm and build a barracks. And then we've got our chat down the bottom. So you've got 3 chats down here. You click that, it opens up. You've got World Chat, Alliance Chat, and Whispers. So Whispers is just personal PMs. Alliance is in a chat just for Alliance, and World Chat is where you can chat to everyone in the world. You can't actually chat until you're level 6. So if I try and chat something, just let's see. So you can't chat until you're level 6. This stops people creating accounts and spamming. So I think that's it for the general layout. I'll jump into another recording later and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.